Another element that of our grant this year that helps get the word out about little niches within our industry is our e-newsletters. And at the top of page 5 there, you'll see the titles of the ones that we've done this year. I believe we are sending those to all of you council members. Our goal with this is we hope that those folks that are receiving this are doing what John May did recently. He sent it on to a bunch of his salmon fishing friends and said, hey, let's get together, and because we got a good run coming back this year, and so that's our goal, is to get the word out on things that we know that are happening within the industry, and you know that need to be highlighted. And so that's what we've done with our e-newsletter program. You'll see on page 5 just a sample from the most recent one that we sent out. We focused on, I mentioned the salmon season that's getting ready to happen. It's actually, we're going to even have a season up here in the Stanley Basin and further downstream in the Chalice area. Well, actually, the fishing game hasn't made a final decision on that, but it looks very promising. So, can you imagine what would happen if the run ever came back like it like it was back in the 70s? Some of our small towns would really prosper. We have a section on our website called Hot Deals, and our industry is. I mean, hey, it's pretty tough out there. I can tell you that bookings are down on the average of 35 to 40%, and outfitters are offering some hot deals, to get folks to consider a guided vacation here in Idaho. So we have a section on our website where outfitters can go on and promote a hot deal. We're conversing with our state and federal agencies that have a lot to say about how we do business, where we do business, and when we do business, to remind them that we're in the midst of the worst recession since WW2, and we think this is an extraordinary circumstance, and so take it easy on our folks in terms of just forget 2009 in terms of don't try to nail folks down and count this year as, among their user information that's used to calculate their use into the future. We don't want to see the BLM or the Forest Service or the state ding people just because we're involved in this downturn in the economy in terms of where we hope to be next year or into the future. On page 6, we did go to a couple of trade shows this year. We teamed up with the state, thanks Karen, to attend the Seattle Sports Show back in September, and the report that we got from our person that attended that show was that it was a beautiful weekend in Seattle and traffic was down a bit at that show. We don't see ourselves going back to that particular show. So anyway, and then we also attended the Safari Club International Show, which is the nation's largest show for hunting and fishing in Reno, and that was a very good show for us in January. We proposed to attend a couple of shows this year. We distribute that directory that I passed out to you at those shows. On the last page, I just shared with you the information from last year's grant. I think most of you know that we are a multi-regional entity. We have outfitters in all 7 regions. I've provided you with an information on that last page, page 7, of kind of a breakdown of the number of outfitters in each region. some outfitters outfit in more than one region, and I certainly can tell you what the preponderance of outfitters are in your region, whether it be hunting, fishing, or boating. I got that breakout, didn't put it on here, but just I want to thank the council and the department for your support in the past as a multi-regional agent grantee, and because our marketing program has been largely based on the state's assistance over the years. We do supplement it a little bit. With that, Brent, I'm finished.
What percentage of guided hunts come from out of state?
Brent, in the 70s and 80s, that used to be upwards of 90%. Now the split is a little more 75-25. There's a lot of day trip float rivers that have emerged since the 80s across Idaho, and so those become an attraction for Boise, Coeur d'Alene folks that want to just get away and go float the Payette or the Waxhaw. So we've seen more Idahoans take advantage of some aspects of our business.
Do you think the recent increase of out-of-state hunting licenses and tags will decline the amount of people that come in next year? Because they just changed it on May 1st.
Yeah, I have some recent email that's not too complimentary of the lack of time that we've had to make that adjustment because outfitters book people earlier than now and receive a deposit early on, and now they're going to have to go back to some of their clients and say, oh, by the way, yeah. And there's, I'm not happy to say that there's a perception among some legislators that the industry serves the rich. I mean, we get folks all across the social economic spectrum, and I mean, one legislator told me this winter, said, well, they're going to come anyway, Grant. Well, I've heard from a few non-residents that aren't too happy with and, in our industry, we would have liked, we think the increase should have been across the board, but we realize politics is politics at this point in the ball game. So we would have liked more time, Brent, to, instead of that emergency clause that says, yeah, the fee increased is now in effect. Usually it's a July 1 deal and gives our land-based outfitters a little more time to react.
Thank you, Grant.